Folks, thanks for tuning in. I want to read this news article. Chicago gun protesters close part of a major interstate near downtown. If you recall, Chicago has some of the most stringent gun laws in the entire United States. It's basically a tie between California, New York, and Chicago. Some of the strictest gun laws in the United States. So let me go ahead and read this article real quick, and we'll talk about it along the way. By the way, it's posted from CNN, the Clinton News Network, or the Communist News Network, or the Crap News Network. Title: Chicago gun protesters close part of a major interstate near downtown. Demonstrators marched Saturday on all 5 northbound lanes of Chicago's Dan Ryan Expressway, bringing the interstate to a standstill after police officials who planned to keep the stretch partially opened relented. So the police, check this out, after police officials who planned to keep the stretch partially opened, which tells me they allowed it to be partially closed. I bet you all those people in Chicago pay their taxes. Must be mighty proud. Hundreds of marchers led by Reverend Michael Flieger of St. Sabina Catholic Church crowded onto the highway on the south side to protest the city's high gun violent rates. I wonder why. I mean, some of the most stringent gun laws in the United States have some of the highest gun violence in the United States. Seems counterintuitive. They're calling for a national common sense gun law and for their communities more public resources, more jobs, better schools, and economic development. Now, that's all good and said. They're calling for national gun common sense laws. First of all, it's a very vague statement, and it's very nice to use those vague statements because then you're not pinned down to really say what exactly you need to fix the laws. Because obviously, you obviously don't know. Those people in Chicago don't really know. They just want to do a blanket statement, national common sense gun laws. Well, why do you need national common sense laws when the problem is in Chicago? It's not here in Arizona. Another thing, they want more public resources, money. They want more money, more jobs. Well, get rid of welfare in Chicago, and the people will decide to go back to work just for the mere human need to feed themselves. Better schools and economic development. So they're basically totally unhappy with life. Marchers gained access to all of northbound Interstate 94 between 79th and 68th Streets after a tense encounter with police. Initially, a line of police officers and their parked vehicles essentially split the northbound highway in half, intending to allow marchers to walk in the right 2 lanes while keeping 2 left lanes of traffic open. But demonstrators, including Flieger and the Reverend Jesse Jackson, demanded all 5 lanes. Jesse Jackson, just follow the money. He can care less about those people. He can care less about those people. His entire life, his entire life's income was derived off the backs of the people he claims to love. We will not march on the side of the highway. We're marching on the highway, Jackson said by megaphone. Shut it down and Black Lives Matter, the crowd chanted. Illinois State Police eventually shut down all 5 northbound lanes to vehicle traffic along the march route, allowing demonstrators to march along the full width. So they gave in, a sign of weakness. And when you show a sign of weakness, you can pretty much bet any future you might as well tuck your tail and run. Now the people know what they can get away with. Very weak, pathetic law there. And this is by no means an insult to the good police officers of Chicago. But I'm sorry. If they had some right leadership, some righteous leadership, this would not be happening. A demonstrator, Lauren Hussein, need I say more? Told CNN that she and her 18-year-old son and some friends and colleagues marched because the cost of ignoring gun violence in Chicago is too high. Again, very vague statements, purposely constructed so they don't have to show their cards, so they don't have to come up with an exact plan. These people have no idea of how to fix the problem they claim they have. Matter of fact, they don't want to fix the problem because the whole goal of this march is to get rid of guns throughout the entire nation. That is their goal. Otherwise, they would have a specific plan of what key points need to be done. Every week we lose women, children, especially brown and black boys, and men to senseless gun violence, she said. When police closed all 5 lanes, a long stretch of I-94 behind the closure turned into a virtual parking lot. Vehicles on the highway were lined bumper to bumper with nowhere to go except for a few exit ramps. Some motorists with nowhere to go if they weren't near an exit left their cars for a time. Think about that. Allowing an interstate to be shut down. What if one of those ladies back there was being driven to a hospital? Maybe she was having a baby. Maybe somebody's driving their spouse to a hospital in the case of an emergency because they're having heart arrhythmia or their first signs of a stroke. Let's not forget all the people who need to get to and from work. What if? I'm sorry, police officers there. I'm sorry you don't allow this to occur. You just don't. After the march, by the way, this is ending real quick. I'm almost done with the article. After the march wrapped up, police reopened the highway shortly after 12:30 p.m. Central Time, allowing northbound traffic to flow again. The state governor, and that's the problem, it's the state governor, the leadership, the socialist communist leadership, the state governor, and the march organizers exchanged testy words over the shutdown. State police said before the march that there was an agreement that all marchers would only take up 2 lanes. Well, these are unrighteous, untrustworthy people. They'll promise you one thing. They'll ask for 2 lanes, but take all 5 lanes. Governor Bruce Rainier, a Republican, tweeted after March that the complete shutdown of I-94 stretch was unacceptable. Okay. We had clear parameters that allowed the protesters to be heard while respecting law and order. Instead, they chose to cause chaos. This is the new business model to get what you want, to cause chaos, to threaten chaos. That is the new business model. That is the new politics mode of apparatus, the mechanics of getting what you want nowadays. Threaten chaos. But Flagler rejected Rainier's position. We never negotiated anything, he told CNN affiliate. We came out here to shut it down. This is a pastor was it a pastor or a reverend? I'm sorry, reverend. The protesters are accusing the governor tried to make it into chaos. He tried to be an obstructionist to our protest. He tried to obstruct you taking all 5 lanes of a main artery of traffic. Shortly before the march, State Police Director Leo Schmitz told reporters Illinois State Police will take necessary steps to ensure we prevent anyone from getting hurt. This whole thing is great if it gets no one hurt, and we will get it done, Schmitz said. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, you got the point. I'll post a link to this CNN article. It's amazing that, first of all, it starts out with a protest against this, but then you read on into it. Well, they need more financial resource because, as you know, Chicago's going broke. They need more schools, and what else are they calling for? I forgot. Better schools and economic development. Well, get off your lazy asses and work, and you will get your own personal economic development. More jobs. You folks don't want to work over there in Chicagoland. You don't want to work. The people who want to work are the ones leaving the state because they can't afford to support those lazy asses. I contend the violence that's going on in Chicago is not because there's too much of this. It's because there's too little of this. That's why the violence is occurring. Only the bad people have this. And no longer are the good people allowed to have this. That is the problem. You folks have a great day. I will link this to the video. Give me a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. Take care.